FishingandHuntingUSA.com features the best gear from the best brands, including Martin Archery, Big John Sports, and much, much more. Plus the hottest baits from the best names. Moonshine Lures, quality Super Glow lures for salmon, trout, walleye, and striper. Big Weenie brand, featuring the hottest cut bait rig combos on the lake. Plus other great products from Morgan's Tackle, Slide Diver, and more. Stock up now at FishingandHuntingUSA.com, where the shipping is always free. On the western edge of New York State, 12 miles from where Niagara Falls drains into Lake Ontario, you'll find Wilson Harbor. With a population of under 6,000, it's a small town with a big reputation for incredible salmon fishing. Every spring, hundreds of anglers from near and far converge here for one of the largest salmon tournaments on the Great Lakes. Welcome to the Wilson Harbor Invitational. There are over 70 teams here preparing for the crown jewel of Lake Ontario tournaments. The majority of them have been here for days, taking part in preliminary competitions and of course pre-fishing to formulate a winning strategy for today's main event. The Wilson Harbor Invitational is a one-day, high-stakes shootout with tens of thousands of dollars up for grabs. The rules are fairly simple. Teams will be fishing New York DEC limits and looking to weigh the 6 biggest fish they can find. There's a 6-rod maximum per team, and only Chinook and Coho are allowed on the tournament scales. Wilson Harbor is also an every team for themselves event, as communication of any kind is strictly prohibited during the fishing period. No networks, no excuses, and no second chances. With over 30 grand on the line, the competition promises to be fierce, but it's not only each other that these teams are worried about. This year, their biggest opponent may well be Mother Nature. A long, harsh winter has left the water cold and the fish scattered. It's a challenging scenario that seemed to play out over and over again on multiple boats during the pre-fish.
This year it's been a struggle. At best, I think we're about 2 weeks behind. Normally this time of year, we're catching kings consistently over 20 pounds. We're seeing, 10, 15 fish days, are pretty much a norm. And this year, obviously, with the winter we've had, we were with the Lake Erie ice and the temperature of the water, it's created a situation here in the spring where the fishing is just slightly behind.
Fishing's been tough. Everybody knows we've had a really rough winter, and the water's still really ice cold. There was ice still floating down the Niagara as of a few days ago.
The water temperatures are really cold, and that just pretty much shut the fish right down, and they're just not eating yet. We found a couple of small pods of warmer water, and that helped a lot. And we're just hoping that we can gain some more warm water tomorrow, and the temperature is definitely warmer today, and that'll enhance those fish to eat just a little bit better.
So the stage is set. The mission is clear. One nice catch is all that stands between one of these teams and the biggest cash payout on the lake. The start of the Wilson Harbor Invitational is now less than 30 minutes away. You will be riding along with the following 3 boats. Cold Steel. This 33-foot Egg Harbor sport fisherman out of Oswego is captained by Tom Burke. Workin' Bites. This 34-foot Pursuit, captained by Patrick Rupp, comes all the way from Northwest Michigan. And Yankee Troller, a 10-meter Trojan hailing out of Point Breeze, New York, and captained by Richard Hijecki.
Don't just go fishing, go hunting underwater. With Raymarine's superior high-fidelity chirp sonar vision, you'll never look at fishing the same again. You're already the predator above the water. Now go find your prey below it. Raymarine. Visit raymarine.com to get in on the action.
When the tournament's on the line, the top teams turn to Dreamweaver lures, spoons, plugs, flies, meat rigs, and the Great Lakes' favorite rotator, the Dreamweaver Spin Doctor. Dreamweaver has what you need to hook up with the biggest fish and more of them. Use what the pros use and add Dreamweaver lures to your arsenal. Check out the latest colors and the full Dreamweaver line at dreamweaverlures.com. Welcome back to the Wilson Harbor Invitational. There are now just minutes remaining until this field of over 70 boats scatters across Lake Ontario in search of some big spring kings. This year's payout will top the $30,000 mark, and with that kind of cash on the line, every team out here is getting anxious for the start. A quick blast from the pierhead signifies that this tournament is underway, and now the race is on. The bulk of the field heads east along the shoreline, and where they decide to stop will likely have a huge impact on how they finish. Of course, not every team took a right turn out of the harbor. The Cold Steel team broke from the pack by 180 degrees. Their westward run was also fairly short, making them one of the first teams to set up shop and one of the first teams to see some early morning action. It's a quick one in the box for Cold Steel, but it's a 0 on the tournament scoreboard. The Wilson Harbor Invitational scores kings and coho only at the scales, so this lake trout is not the fish they're looking for today. Back east of Wilson Harbor, Michigan-based Workin' Bites is about to get their first shot. It's a short-lived battle, and it's won by the fish, leaving Workin' Bites off to an 0-1 start. Over on Yankee Troller, concern is building over the conditions this morning, specifically the water temps they found at their starting position.
We had up to 48 degrees in here over the last few days here, and right now we've got 43, so it's dropped considerably.
What's the range you're looking for?
Right now, the warmest we can find. These salmon are just starting to move up, so when they find a little bit of warm water, that's where the bait fish is going to head to. And right here in this pocket, it's been pretty good the last 2 days, but there's a lot of pressure here right now.
Based on what we've heard from the teams earlier this week, the cold water is not going to take anyone here by surprise, but it's also not going to make it easy to stuff your cooler full of big king salmon. Regardless of the conditions, the teams are due back at the tournament scales no later than 3 p.m. with their day's catch. One thing is for certain here at the Wilson Harbor Invitational this year: there's no time and no fish to waste. Next on Wilson Harbor Invitational, the series. One full day of tournament fishing is all that stands between this year's fleet and a massive cash payout. Can they find the big kings to get the job done? Or will Mother Nature have the last laugh, leaving these teams out in the cold?
Trust is a quality that's earned over time, through our greatest triumphs and humble defeats. It's built on dependability, extraordinary strength, and true confidence. At the end of a long but epic day, trust is about being able to deliver on promises time after time. Built to last, made to work. Trust Scotty.
Inside you, there's an outside you. A you that finds your dinner by finding your dinner's dinner. A you that isn't afraid to pick a fight with something that has a sword for a nose. This is for that you.